Welcome back to Besleepy Storytelling. Tonight we reach the final chapter of our tale, Sailor's Voyages, Whispers Over the Waves, Part 4. The voyage has carried us through dark waters and haunting whispers, and now, at last, the end awaits. I'm truly glad you've joined me for this closing part of the journey. If you've enjoyed this series, please remember to like this video and subscribe so you won't miss the stories still to come. Now settle in, relax, and let's uncover the final secrets the sea has been hiding.
Part 4. Ashore. The storm broke at dawn. The seabird drifted battered but afloat, its sails torn, its mast groaning. James lay curled in the cockpit, drenched, shivering, every muscle aching as though he had been beaten by giants. His eyes were raw, his lips cracked with salt, but he was alive. The sea stretched calm and endless once more, deceptively innocent, as though nothing had happened. The sun bled pale gold across the horizon, painting the water with warmth. James no longer trusted. He sat up slowly, every joint stiff, and gripped the tiller. East, always east. Norway couldn't be far. Land, solid, real land, was the only chance he had left. If he stayed on the sea, he would not survive another night. His compass needle held steady. He fixed his gaze on the horizon and forced the seabird forward. The day passed in silence. No laughter, no singing, no tapping on the hull. Only the sigh of wind and the slap of waves. It should have been relief, but it wasn't. The silence was heavier than sound, a waiting silence. James knew the children weren't gone. They were patient. They could wait forever. By late afternoon, the horizon broke. Land. James's breath caught, a dark line rising against the silver water. He blinked furiously, terrified it was another hallucination, but it remained, growing clearer with every minute. Cliffs, trees, a real coast. He laughed, the sound breaking into sobs. His hands shook as he tightened the sails, guiding the seabird with frantic urgency. His mind clung to a single thought. If he could set foot on land, he would be safe. The children belonged to the sea. They could not follow him ashore. Dusk fell as the yacht scraped into a narrow inlet. Jagged cliffs rose on either side, their faces black with shadow, but a small stony beach lay ahead. James dropped anchor clumsily, hands numb, and half fell into the dinghy. His arms screamed with effort as he rowed the short distance to shore, every stroke fueled by desperate hope. When the dinghy ground against pebbles, he stumbled out, legs buckling beneath him. He collapsed to his knees, clutching the stones in both fists. Solid ground, real. He pressed his face to it, sobbing with relief. He was safe. The beach was narrow, hemmed in by cliffs. A narrow path wound upward through twisted pines. James staggered to his feet, every step unsteady, and followed it. His body was ruined, but his will drove him forward. Higher, away from the sea, the voices did not follow. The surf was the only sound now, a constant hush behind him. Each step lessened its grip, until finally he stood at the top of the cliffs. The forest spread before him. The air smelled of pine and earth. No salt, no rot. He wept again, knees giving way beneath him. He had escaped. The forest path led deeper inland. Twilight pooled between the trees, shadows lengthening. James stumbled along, vision blurring with exhaustion. He wanted to collapse, to sleep on the forest floor, but fear kept him moving. The children were behind him, but what if they weren't? What if they had followed? He needed people, light, shelter. Then he saw it. Through the trees, a clearing opened. In the center stood a small village, wooden houses with peaked roofs, smoke curling from chimneys. Lanterns glowed in windows, warm and golden. Voices carried faintly, laughter, conversation, the sound of life. James staggered forward, heart swelling. He was saved. The village was quiet when he entered, too quiet. The laughter had faded, the houses stood still, lanterns glowing but windows dark behind the glass. No movement, no people, James's steps slowed, his breath misted in the cooling air. "Hello?" he called, voice trembling. "Please, I need help." No answer. He pushed open the nearest door. The house was empty. Furniture in place, a fire smoldering in the hearth, but no one inside. James's skin crawled. He moved to the next house. Empty. The next. Empty. Every home was lived in but abandoned, as though the people had left only moments before. And then he heard it. A child's giggle. James froze. The sound came from the far end of the village, soft and high. Another giggle answered it, then another. His throat closed. "No," he stumbled backward, eyes wide. "No, I left you. I left you in the sea." The giggles multiplied, spilling from every direction. Children's laughter rising in waves, circling him, bouncing from the wooden walls. Lanterns flickered, shadows shifted, and then, one by one, the doors creaked open. Children stepped out, dozens of them, pale and dripping, clothes clinging to their small frames. Their eyes gleamed in the lantern light, their mouths stretching into those same impossible grins. James backed away, shaking his head. "No, you can't be here. You're the sea. You belong to the sea." The children giggled. In unison, they sang, "London Bridge is falling down, falling down, falling down." Their voices filled the village, rising higher, drowning out James's cries. He turned and ran. The forest closed around him once more, branches clawing at his jacket. He ran blindly, heart slamming, lungs tearing, laughter chasing him through the trees. No matter how fast he ran, it stayed close, always at his back. He burst into another clearing and froze. The sea stretched before him. The cliffs, the beach, the seabird anchored offshore. "No." His voice cracked. He turned back. Trees, path, village gone. Only the sea remained, and the children stood between him and the water, blocking his way. Rows of them, pale and endless, grins shining in the moonlight, their eyes locked on him. "We all fall down." They rushed forward. James screamed and bolted along the cliff's edge. The ground crumbled beneath his boots, stones tumbling into the waves. The children followed, their laughter shrill and wild. The cliff narrowed, ending in a jagged outcrop. Trapped. The sea churned below, black and hungry. James spun back to the drop. The children advanced, their song filling the night. "Stay away," he shouted, voice breaking. He raised his knife, arm shaking. "I won't go with you." They only smiled wider. The nearest child, a boy with water streaming from his hair, stepped closer. His voice was clear, sharp as glass. "You already did." The cliff gave way. James's scream tore into the night as the ground crumbled beneath him. He fell, arms flailing, knife spinning away into the dark. The children's faces peered over the edge, glowing in the moonlight, watching as he plunged into the sea. The water closed over him like a coffin, cold, silent, absolute. Hands reached for him at once, dozens of them gripping his arms, his legs, pulling him down. He thrashed, kicked, fought, but the sea swallowed his strength. The children's faces surrounded him, grinning, endless, their voices filling the water. "Row, row, row your boat." He screamed, bubbles bursting from his mouth. His lungs burned. His vision darkened. The last thing he saw was their joy, their endless, terrible joy, and then the sea claimed him. Epilogue. Weeks later, a fishing trawler spotted the seabird drifting aimlessly, sails torn, rail charred. No one was aboard. They towed it back to harbor. Some swore they heard laughter echoing across the waves that day, children's laughter, faint but clear, riding the wind from the empty boat.
Thank you for listening to Sailor's Voyages, Whispers Over the Waves Part 4, here on Besleepy Storytelling. Our voyage has reached its end. I'm grateful you joined me on this journey. If you enjoyed this series, please leave a like, subscribe, and let me know your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear them. And while this tale has ended, many more are waiting to be told. Until next time, rest well, sleep peacefully, and let new stories guide your dreams.